So I want to, and we'll do something more creative than that, but I want to just talk to you about this for a minute. Do you feel that the more reviews you get and the more people feel confident, price becomes a secondary consideration? Have you noticed that when you do it?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. That's good, Joe, because that's the way it should be. And Chad, because your client base doesn't seem to come in for the whole thing, that may not be the case for you.
Yeah, I don't have any problem selling. Probably 90% of my inspections are what we call the 5-star inspection.
Hmm.
That has the home inspection, termite, and infrared. So, I mean, that 9 times out of 10, I just tell them uh, that's our price. And they say, well, what if, what's just a regular, or, what are your other packages? That's the question they usually say. What are your other packages? And I just say, well, just tell me what you don't want me to do. And they say, oh, no, that sounds good. We'll take that.
Yeah.
Chad, can I ask you a question? Chad,
Uh,
when
yeah.
you're talking to the client to schedule it, can't you just tell them that you expect them to be there and that they're going to get the most benefit from it by them actually being there?
Oh, and I've used that a lot.
And
Almost those
they
exact
still
words.
won't come?
No, they'll
Wow.
end up texting me the next day and saying, "Is it required for me to be there?" And I'm like, "Well, it's up to you. I mean, this is
I'd say
you're
yes.
going to get more value."
Say, what are you
Wow.
doing?
Yeah.
Asking for a friend? Hell yeah, you need to be there. Get on over here. Get your butt on over here. I
Yeah.
guess what I'm really thinking about this is the way we did it with reviews and brand fans. When people call you up, and I'll date how long ago we started the yellow pages, all they wanted was a quote. But when people call up and say, "Wow, I need to get a home inspection," and Joe from the company I work for said you guys were awesome. Okay. And so I wanted to talk about our place, So when you get great reviews or a brand fan really says great things about you, price becomes a secondary issue. I mean, and you can tell how well that's working by people call you up and say, "I want a quote. I need a quote on a home inspection." That's not somebody from a brand fan. That's maybe somebody that's never seen your reviews. Okay.
Mhm.
So you can always tell when the conversation starts differently. Okay. When that conversation
Right.
doesn't start off, "I need a quote." Okay. Well, wow. Okay. Good morning to you as well. But when it starts on a different thing, "Hey, I got your name from," or, one of your prior clients. And the first thing we'd say is, "If you don't mind sharing who that was, we'd like to be able to thank them personally as well." Then they tell us who it was. Okay, so then we went from there. But when you have great reviews, not just John did a great job, that's not really a review, that's a statement, so that's not a review. Okay, so but when you get really, meaningful reviews that you should work to get, then what happens? The price becomes a secondary consideration. Chad doesn't have to sell so hard on that 5-star package. You don't say it to say, "Tell me what else you want," or don't want, because we ain't got nothing but one thing.
Yeah.
So so that's it.
And
But if
We
can
we really
can
don't
I
get
ask a
that many
question
invites.
that's sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
we always
Uh,
have a lag.
I um I have a question. It's slightly off topic from reviews and definitely word of mouth and
Mhm.
word of mouth review referral. Just come do my schedule my inspection, come do it. They don't ask price. That's the best kind. Um Chad mentioned his 5-star package includes termite. So I'm licensed in my state to do WDI pest, and I charge extra if it's a VA loan and they need that NPMA-33 form. But how do I charge extra for a pest inspection if they're not doing a VA loan? Because I'm not going to gloss over some termite damage in the basement at the rim joist or the floor joist because they didn't pay me extra. That falls under the general home inspection umbrella. So how can I charge extra for that if it's not an NPMA form request?
Chad, how you guys doing it?
We just, what I did is essentially took all three of the prices. I looked at my average home, got the square footage. So then I have, you know, from this square footage to that square footage is this price, and, you know, so forth and so on. But took all three of those prices, added them up, and then knocked a little bit off the top to make it 572. Just an odd number like Ken told me to do. So it's 572, 622, 672, you know, whatever it is just $50 for every so many square feet. And I just added them up, put it in there. They're getting it.
So, Joe, what I think Chad is really telling you to help you understand that more is he's by bundling, you don't have to lay out all of those things because what you're doing is you're including it in the package. Okay, so if you do infrared, you do these other things, you just package them together and then people get that. So, what is the perception they're getting the biggest value? That's what he calls it his
Perceiving to
5-star
them
package.
that they're getting more when in reality it was included anyways, right?
Well, I think
But
the thing
I
that you
knocked
have
a little
to,
bit off the top for the bundle. Since they're bundling it all
Yeah.
together, you're there already. It doesn't take you that much longer to do those
No.
other things.
People call
so
me and say, "Hey, I want mold and pest," and I'm like, "Is this an MP? Are you a VA loan, or do you need an IAQ test?" And they go, "Huh?" No, I said, "Well, if I see mold, I'm gonna call it out, and if I see pest anything, I'm gonna call it out. It's included." So I would
right.
love to find a way to capitalize on that.
That's what I thought you were saying. So here's the story. Let's just take mold because you brought that up. That's a great one. Certainly, if you're out there and you see what appears to be mold in a house or this, that, and the other, you're going to say it, right? I mean, I would say it. And if I saw infestation damage on the sill plates or any other places around the house, I would certainly say it. But I haven't done a pest inspection by saying that, and I certainly haven't done a mold test by saying that. So when we're doing a mold testing, now we're doing air samples and this, that, and the other. When we're doing a pest inspection, we're doing whatever the state requires us to do to be a pest inspection, you know, whatever that rules are. So seeing something and calling out in your home inspection report is completely different than actually testing for those substances. So if you see mold, that's great. You know, if they bought the package, we're going to do the sampling no matter what, if we see it or don't see it. So I think that's the difference between seeing it and doing something extra.
Yeah, I see how maybe I could roll that all into one and charge
And
extra.
you know what happens is because what happens if people are giving away free pest inspections? What does that really mean? Okay, so then what you'd have to say is if somebody says, well, what do these things include? And you could have a nice little list of benefits of the service offerings that you have. That it's not just something because we've had people in the said market, everybody brings an infrared camera, but guess what happens? How are they using it? In what way they're using? What benefit is it to the client? And so what you do is you let them see the perceived value of what you're doing with the infrared camera. So they have the package really sells itself. Because you know, people don't want to get surprised by what happens when they close on the house. And so they're willing to purchase the 5-star package. Now there's two, and Chad, I'm sure that you have this, you know, there's a 5-star and then there's a standard home inspection. And you should always start by selling the 5-star inspection because if people say, ooh, I'd love to have all those things, but I can't afford it. And you say, well, hang on a second, we have a standard home inspection and here's what it includes. So you don't lose that business. But when you opt for the standard of the higher 5-star price, our profit margins are up. And make no mistake, this is about a business. We're in this to make money. We're not in the business to rip anybody off, for sure. But we're certainly in the business to pay our bills and make money for our families.
Oh yeah.
So
It's definitely when you start at the high price, it's, you know, 425 sounds great after they've heard 572. you know.
But nobody wants to be upsold. So if you started with a standard inspection, then try to put mold and pests and all that, nobody likes that. I mean, well, how much is it?
Yeah.
I mean, Norton Home Security Software. Okay, they bought LifeLock. We were a member of LifeLock. That check, make sure your credit doesn't go and have that $1 million insurance policy if somebody steals your identity and all that. So Norton bought them. I hate Norton. So they took over our internet security as well. And so they asked me what I thought, and I said, I hate your company. And here's what I hate about your company. If I need a stamp package, if I need this, it's so important. Why didn't you include it in what you gave me first and stop nickel and diming me? I feel like you're upselling me. I feel like you're a cheap, no good salesperson. And what happens is they responded right off to that. I said, because I start off with, I hate your company. And I did. I still hate them. But if I could change, I would. But it's all included, and it's a big complicated thing altogether. But I'm telling you, that pisses me off. Don't upsell me, man. Just tell me what it is. I can afford it, or I'm willing to pay it, or I'm not. Don't nickel and dime me and upsell me. So by start with a 5-star, you're starting with a much more pleasant experience. Here's the things it includes. Okay, nobody doesn't want to know whether they have mold or pests or whatever. I mean, that's a given. So then if they're just budget conscious and can't do it, we hey, no worries. Listen, we still have our standard inspection, includes a lot of the things. It works. It works. But 2 choices is all you should give them. Your 5-star and a standard home inspection. That's it.
Thank you for, I'm gonna look at ways to do that. Thank you very much. And
Joe,
sorry
if you
bring
yeah,
us in the weeds.
No, you're good. If you need ideas or whatever, just, send us an email, do whatever, and, we'll be glad to help you on it, because that's a legitimate thing. I hear these questions all the time. Everybody else in the market is giving it away. How would someone perceive value from what I'm offering it for? But by bundling it, it works way better. Okay. I really have everything I wanted to get out. I just wanted to see what you guys were doing, make some suggestions on maybe how to help you get going a little further on different ideas. And I unless you guys have anything else, I'm gonna say good night to you. Good night then. Thanks everybody for being on the call. I do appreciate it. I always appreciate you participating, even though I have to call Chad's name to get him to talk to me. But I've known him for many years, so I know how it works. All right, guys. We'll see everybody soon. I got another meeting I get to go to.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
No.